Marrying the wrong woman can be one of the biggest mistakes a man will ever make. We've all heard horror stories. Men who lost everything in a divorce, men stuck in toxic marriages, men who wake up one day and realize they've been manipulated, drained, and trapped. But the truth is, most of them ignored the warning signs. They saw the red flags, but they chose to look the other way, believing that love would fix everything. It doesn't. The reality is, not all women are suitable for marriage. Some will destroy your peace, drain your energy, and turn your life into a living nightmare. And if you don't recognize the signs early on, you'll find yourself stuck in a situation that's almost impossible to escape from. That's why today, we're going to break down 3 major red flags, signs that a woman is absolutely not wife material. If she has even one of these traits, you need to think long and hard before committing your life to her. Some of these may surprise you, some might even seem harmless at first. But I guarantee you, if you ignore these warning signs, you will regret it later. So listen closely, because what you're about to hear could save you from years of suffering. Sound fair enough? Let's get into it. Number 1. Her past trauma controls her. Most men don't realize this, but a woman's childhood trauma can shape the way she loves and the way she destroys relationships. If she grew up in a chaotic, unstable home, she might have developed deep emotional wounds that she carries into adulthood. And if she hasn't acknowledged or healed from those wounds, guess what? You become the one who pays the price. A woman with unresolved trauma often believes, deep down, that she is unworthy of love. And because of that, she subconsciously sabotages any relationship that threatens to prove her wrong. Even if you love her completely, even if you treat her better than any man ever has, she will find a way to push you away, test your patience, and create drama where there is none. It's not because she wants to hurt you, it's because chaos is all she's ever known. Stability feels unnatural to her. At first, you might think she just needs more reassurance. You might believe that if you love her hard enough, she'll finally feel secure. But that's not how this works. A woman with deep emotional scars must heal herself. You cannot do it for her. And if she refuses to put in the work, you will become her emotional punching bag. She will lash out, withdraw, manipulate, or even provoke fights just to validate her internal belief that love is painful. I've seen men waste years trying to fix a broken woman. They tell themselves she just needs time, or she's only acting this way because of her past. And maybe that's true, but her past is not your responsibility. You are not her therapist. You are not her savior. And if she is unwilling to heal, then staying with her will only destroy you in the process. Look for the signs early on. Does she constantly bring up how all her past relationships ended badly, but never take accountability? Does she have extreme emotional highs and lows that make you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Does she create unnecessary drama, then blame you for not understanding her? If so, run. Because if she hasn't worked through her trauma, you will always be the one suffering for it. A good relationship should bring you peace, not chaos. If a woman's past trauma still controls her, she is not ready to be a wife. Number 2. She mistakes chaos for love. Most men have been conditioned to believe that love should be intense, passionate, and full of excitement. That if a woman makes them feel an overwhelming rush of emotions, it must mean she's the one. But here's the hard truth. Real love is not chaos. If a woman makes you feel like you're constantly on edge, if the relationship swings between extreme highs and devastating lows, what you have is not love. It's emotional addiction. Some women mistake chemistry for compatibility. They don't feel comfortable unless there's some kind of tension, some drama, some kind of instability to keep the relationship exciting. At first, it might feel intoxicating. One day she's all over you, showering you with affection. The next day she's distant, cold, and making you feel like you've done something wrong. And what do? You chase that high. You try harder. You become addicted to earning back her affection. This cycle is designed to keep you emotionally hooked. She pushes you away just enough to create anxiety, then pulls you back in with a flood of love and intimacy, just enough to keep you from leaving. It's the same psychological mechanism that makes gambling addictive. The uncertainty keeps you invested. The problem is, this kind of relationship is not sustainable. Over time, this constant emotional turbulence destroys your peace. You start doubting yourself, wondering if you're the problem. You walk on eggshells, trying to prevent the next outburst. And worst of all, you mistake the intensity of the relationship for depth, when in reality, it's just an illusion. I've seen countless men fall into this trap, thinking that if a woman makes them feel something powerful, it must mean she's special. But let me tell you something. Stability is not boring. A healthy relationship should feel secure, predictable, and peaceful. That doesn't mean it lacks excitement, but the excitement should come from mutual growth and deep connection, not from constant fights, breakups, and makeups. Here's a simple test. If you're with a woman and you feel relieved when she's in a good mood, but anxious when she's not, that's not love. That's emotional manipulation. If she thrives on drama, picks fights for no reason, or keeps you on edge just to keep things interesting, she's not a good long-term partner. A woman who is ready for marriage understands that love is built, not chased. She doesn't need chaos to feel alive. If the woman you're with confuses dysfunction with passion, you need to ask yourself one question. Are you willing to live like this for the rest of your life? Because if you marry her, that's exactly what you're signing up for. Number 3. She uses boundaries as weapons. Manipulation disguised as self-respect. A mature woman sets boundaries to create a healthier, more respectful relationship. But a toxic woman? She uses them as weapons, not to build closeness, but to control you. And most men don't realize this until they're already trapped. A healthy boundary is something like, I need personal space when I'm overwhelmed, but I'll always communicate with you about it. It's clear, respectful, and meant to help both partners understand each other better. But a toxic woman? Her version of a boundary is, if you do something I don't like, I'll cut you off without explanation. This is where many men fall into the trap. You think you're respecting her boundaries, but in reality, you're walking on eggshells, afraid that at any moment she might withdraw, ignore you, or punish you emotionally. She doesn't use boundaries as a way to improve the relationship. She uses them to control the dynamic and make sure she always has the upper hand. Here's how it works. She gets upset over something minor. Maybe you didn't text back fast enough, or you made a joke she didn't like. Instead of talking to you about it, she shuts down, pulls away, and leaves you guessing what you did wrong. You reach out, you try to fix it, but she stays cold and distant. Suddenly, the power in the relationship shifts. You're now chasing her validation, desperate to make things right, even though you have no idea what you did wrong. This is emotional manipulation at its finest. She's training you to comply with her unspoken rules, or else she'll make you suffer. And the more you tolerate it, the more she reinforces the cycle. A woman who uses boundaries as weapons is dangerous because she never truly communicates what she wants. She expects you to read her mind, and when you fail to do so, she punishes you with silence, distance, or passive-aggressive behavior. And over time, this starts to break you down. I've seen strong men, leaders, high achievers, men with confidence, slowly lose themselves in relationships like this. They start doubting their own instincts, questioning whether they're the problem. They become afraid to speak up because they don't want to disrespect her boundaries. But let me tell you something. A real boundary is meant to bring clarity, not confusion. If her boundaries feel more like punishments, she's not setting them to build a healthy relationship. She's setting them to control you. Here's the hard truth. A woman who weaponizes boundaries will make you feel trapped in a relationship where you are never good enough. No matter what you do, she will always find a reason to withhold affection, attention, or communication. And that's not a relationship, it's a prison. So if you notice this behavior early on, do yourself a favor. Walk away before you lose yourself completely. Conclusion. You can choose your fate. Marriage is one of the biggest decisions a man can make. Choose the right woman, and your life will be filled with peace, support, and genuine love. Choose the wrong woman, and you will spend years trapped in a psychological war zone, constantly doubting yourself, losing your confidence, and watching your happiness fade. Let's recap the 3 major red flags. 1. She hasn't healed from her past trauma. If she's still carrying emotional wounds and refuses to address them, she will sabotage love before it even has a chance to grow. 2. She mistakes chaos for love. If she thrives on drama, conflict, and emotional roller coasters, you will never find peace with her. 3. She uses boundaries as weapons. If she manipulates through silence, distance, or emotional withdrawal, she's not setting boundaries, she's controlling you. If a woman has any of these traits, think carefully before committing. A good relationship should bring clarity, not confusion, stability, not chaos. Don't ignore the warning signs, because once you're married, escaping will cost you far more than just your peace of mind. Now let me ask you, have you ever dated a woman like this? Comment yes if you have, and no if you haven't. Let's see how many men have been through this.